Absolute and relative cell references. In this podcast, we will discuss the difference between absolute and relative cell references in Microsoft Excel. A formula works in Excel by referencing cells that contain values. A specific cell is identified by the intersecting column letter and row number, which forms the cell reference. The first cell in a document is identified as cell A1. A formula that adds A1 to A2 will reference these cells by their cell references, A1 and A2. To see the total sales at the downtown location, click cell B7. Click the Auto Sum button. Excel will automatically use relative cell references in a formula. A relative cell reference is the address of a cell based on the relative position of the cell that contains the formula and the cell referred to. Note the formula's construction. B4, B6 tells us the sum formula refers to cells B4 to B6. Because the formula is in cell B7, this means that it refers to whichever cells appear 3 up, 2 up, and 1 up from itself. The formula then adds whichever values appear in these cell references. Press Enter. Right-click the formula cell and click Copy. Right-click cell B13 and click Paste. Note that no value appears because Excel copied the relative cell references in the formula, not the exact formula. Cells B4, B5, and B6 are no longer part of the formula because they no longer fall within the relative position to the formula cell. Double-click the cell to see the formula. It now references cell B10 to B12, which are the 3 cells above the formula cell. The formula value will change when the formula's position changes because it will refer to new cells that are at the new positions relative to the new formula cell. In order to copy the exact formula instead of the relative position of the cell references, you need to create an absolute cell reference. An absolute cell reference refers to cells by their fixed position in a worksheet and remains the same when it is copied. Dollar signs must be added before each row number and column letter in the formula to create an absolute reference. Delete the copied formula cell. Double-click the original formula cell. Place the insertion point before the first column letter and add a dollar sign. Do the same before the first row number. As a shortcut, place the insertion point to the right of the second cell reference and press F4. Right-click the cell and click Copy. Paste it to cell B13. Double-click it and notice that the formula has not changed. Any changes to the top table will now be applied to cell B13 automatically. This completes this podcast from the Go series.